Today I want to teach you that journalists recognize that their voices cannot be the only one represented in the telling of an event. Journalists research the perspectives of witnesses, experts, and everyday citizens, and they gather data and statistics as additional evidence of the issue their story introduces. In today's lesson, we'll look at various research methods. The first, interviewing. Journalists rely on important interviews. This doesn't mean getting just a single quote. It means a whole question and answer session. Listen to this interview of Jenny interviewing Nate. Notice how she's choosing to ask the kinds of questions that were not answered by the 5 whys. She's asking some really interesting questions that will make the reader say, wow.
So Nate, I want to interview you about the PTA versus teachers soccer match. Why was the soccer match such an important event?
Students, did you notice how Jen used one of the wow type questions? The first one here on the chart. Now, as Nate responds, Jenny will have to be ready to record or write what he says. She could use an auto recorder on her phone, or she could just write really fast with her pen.
Parents are always talking about how it's not about winning the game, but how you play the game, and how important sportsmanship is. But a lot of my friends say their parents don't act like it's okay to lose, even though that's what they say.
As Nate was talking, Jenny worked to capture every word. Now watch how Jenny brings Nate's voice into her writing.
Nate Rivera, another 7th grader, was a bit conflicted about the event. Parents are always talking about how it doesn't matter if you win or lose, but then when it was game time, they all wanted to win, really bad. That makes me really think about the difference between what people say and what they actually do. Nate's comments lead to a bigger question. Are parents too obsessed with winning, especially in sporting events?
Students, there were 3 really simple things that Jenny did to write up part of the interview for her piece.
First, I set up the reader for Nate's quote by giving his name and a short preview of what he was about to say. Next, I added Nate's exact words in quotation marks. Notice that not everything Nate said was included. I left out parts that did not really fit with my piece. Finally, I gave a summary about what Nate's quote might mean.
Sometimes journalists collect statistics as evidence. They might conduct a survey, or they might research data about the issue at hand. In Jen's case, she could gather and share survey data showing that 9 out of 10 parents claimed they didn't care before the game, who won or who lost, but that at the game, 8 of 10 parents realized they did care. Then she could demonstrate how it's the comparing and contrasting of the data that will be interesting. The main thing is you want to make sure you spend some time not just designing surveys, but figuring out which data is interesting and meaningful, and showing how to write long from a chart or diagram that you will embed into your piece.